Since when did YouTubers start getting on Netflix? Earlier this year, we saw Beast Games become Prime's most successful unscripted show of all time. And now the Sidemen, the world's biggest YouTube group, have brought the second season of their hit reality show Inside to Netflix. So we can tell something's working. After a wildly successful first season that saw 53 million views on their own channel, it is no surprise that they got picked up by Netflix. It is a high-stakes reality series that places 12 top and emerging creators in a bunker basement for a week to compete for a £1 million prize pool. And here are the ones that were in there. And the format was simple. If contestants failed challenges or made purchases in the shop, then they lost money. This could include things like meal upgrades, hot showers, or as they called it, foam dart blasters, or I guess Nerf guns as we all know. Each temptation cost the group, literally. Jason cost the group £30,000 just for the opportunity to play in the Sidemen charity match back in March. And Sinner, an American streamer, offered a very interesting, very relatable, and very powerful critique of many of her fellow contestants. Many of the contestants saw the money as monopoly money, but when you really come from nothing, you know the value of every dollar, in response to how wasteful so many of the contestants were. So how does the Sidemen break the normal reality show mold and make it interesting to someone like me, who doesn't tend to watch that genre of content? Well, it does one main thing. They aim to choose contestants that connected with their audience. And as Simon Minter said in one of his streams, they hope that while you may not know everyone there, everyone will know at least someone. This cross-pollination across the Atlantic of British and American creators from a range of different genres created interesting dynamics in the show, but also allowed audiences to develop fan bases and root for specific creators in particular, as well as allowing the cross-promotion of each of these different audiences to each other and the Sidemen universe. And it works. The Sidemen tried really hard to keep their cast secret, but people figured it out. For example, I remember Dylan, one of the contestants, posting that he was going to be MIA from his content for a week, and then he scrolled through the comments. Everyone knew exactly where he was going to be. And the commentary in the back of the game show was provided by none other than the iconic Stephen Tries, who was known for his dry humour and uncalled for roasts throughout each and every of the Sidemen charity matches. Not the things a typical reality show could get away with. While a lot of streamers for many years were known for illegally streaming traditional content, whether that be Netflix shows or the Super Bowl, two of the streamers that competed in this year's show, Sinner and Jason, were given permission to stream the series on their own pages. A real shift in the litigious nature of these organizations because they know the benefit in bringing attention to this show. So if they were already receiving tens of millions of views on their own channel, why would they make the jump to Netflix? If you want to join creators, industry leaders, and curious minds around the world, you can subscribe to my free weekly newsletter in the comments, where you'll receive one story like you're watching right now every single Tuesday in your inbox. If you subscribe right now, you'll receive the first 2 chapters of my debut Creators Trove magazine, where I captured and analyzed the biggest creators in the creator economy space. Why would they make the jump to Netflix? There's 3 reasons for that. The first one is legitimacy. Landing a show on Netflix still signals prestige. It's a high barrier platform, so even if you're receiving the same ratings and viewership as a traditional program, you receive a lot more accreditation and validation when you operate on these platforms. And the second is funding. These streamers can bankroll up front these investment-heavy productions, like how Prime reportedly spent $100 million on Beast Games. And the third is exposure. While the Sidemen's audience will follow them anywhere, including to Netflix, it is likely that putting their show amongst the other major series in their genre, it will help expose them to a whole new audience who has either never heard of them before, or maybe had heard of them, but has never actually engaged with their personalities or their content before. So directly competing with these titles and probably winning out in a viewership basis definitely ups their credibility even further. From here on, there's going to be a couple of spoilers, just to give you a heads up. But by the end of the show, the £1 million had dwindled down to 293,672. Let's just say £300,000. And the last 3 contestants, Sinner, Maya, and PK, I've only heard of Maya before the other 2 I was introduced into the show, but they faced off in a classic game of split or steal. And the result? Drumroll. They chose to split it. Turns out if you hang out with friends in a basement for a week, you kind of trust each other. So as a result, they all took home £98,000 each. Not a bad payday for a week's worth of work. And immediately after this, KSI announced that they were already in the works of producing a US-based version, once again, to expand their exposure into a market that is generally unfamiliar with their work, at least at the scale of Europe. When I've spoken to many creators here in London, it is clear that positioning yourself in the United States wields considerable opportunities that aren't possible here in the UK, whether that be financial, whether that be viewership, or just the opportunity to engage in certain events that only exist on the other side of the pond. And this is even if the majority of your audience is American. So at this rate, will everyone leave YouTube for Netflix? Well, no. It's not about leaving YouTube, it's about evolving past it. Netflix is now offering YouTubers scale, resources, and legitimacy without losing creative control. There's a reason Mr. Beast said he went for Prime over the others, because they let him do his thing. And guess what? If you let people who are really good at getting billions of views do their thing, they might also be able to do the same for you. These creators who built their audiences online are now able to enter the same rooms as these legacy media giants and do things on their own terms. The question isn't whether creators belong on Netflix, it's whether traditional media providers, it's funny how we're calling Netflix traditional, it's only a couple of years old, but whether they can keep up with creators who are dominating yet another medium and the ever-evolving new media space. If you want to hear more incredible stories like this of creators dominating this new media space, I've got the perfect playlist for you right here. Enjoy.